Next question, the member for Haldimand, Norfolk.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Every single day, every single question in this House is met with the same response, and we see it again this morning, the carbon tax. So let's actually talk about it. It's a distraction from the real issues like the Greenbelt scandal, the healthcare crisis,
Order.
the $9.8 billion deficit,
Order.
the increase in the Premier's office staff, many of whom are enjoying an income greater than a combined income of families in my riding of Haldimand, Norfolk. In January, I launched a petition calling on this government to follow the lead of Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe. No response, except for carbon tax referendum legislation that does absolutely nothing to help the people of Ontario today. It's a publicity stunt. So who is actually playing politics with the carbon tax here at Queen's Park? If the carbon tax is front and centre here at Queen's Park, then obviously the members opposite could take real action. Speaker, through you to the Premier, will this government follow the lead of Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, who is providing real relief to the people of Saskatchewan today?
Order. Order. The Premier.
They call saving taxpayers' money a publicity stunt. You know, Scott Moe is one of my best pals there. We share the same values. But if you call saving taxpayers the money by reducing 10.7 cents off the gas prices when everyone's going to wake up tomorrow morning and pay another 14 more cents on top of the 17.5 cents, getting rid of the license stickers, getting rid of the registration, making sure we got rid of the 412 and 418 tolls, that's a publicity stunt. We're the only government in the history of Ontario that have never raised a tax on your parents, making sure they're going to have a job, the students up there, making sure that we created 700,000 new jobs, putting more money on people's tables, kitchen tables, and being able to pay rent and put a deposit down for a house. You call that a publicity stunt? By the way, you won't have a job next election.
Order. Stop the clock. Order. 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 Those kinds of comments are not helpful. Start the clock. The member for Haldimand, Norfolk.
Thank you, Speaker. I actually accept what the Premier is saying is actually good news, because he didn't say Ontario can't create affordability against the carbon tax, but all the tinkering that he's talking about isn't quite cutting it for families who are continuing to pay more, get less, and fall further behind. What this government doesn't talk about is that it has its own carbon tax on industrial emitters, a result of the scrapping of Ontario's cap-and-trade system. This government collects compliance payments from the biggest industrial producers of greenhouse gas and will rake in nearly $500 million by 2030. What is happening with that money? Members opposite might find it cute that they count how many times they say the word carbon tax during question period. What I don't find cute is the families who come to me telling me they're choosing between heating and eating. If this government will not provide meaningful relief for Ontario families and has no other plan against the carbon tax other than to consult, it's time you stop talking about it and focus on the issues you can control here in Ontario. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe has truly taken Ottawa on.
Thank you. Thank you. The Premier.
Well, just to remind the member, we took the federal government to court. It was forced upon us. The carbon tax is the worst tax you could ever put on the backs of people. It's going to cost parents more money to take their kids to school, to take them to events, to go home from work, back and forth. But guess what? We're building Ontario. We've become an economic powerhouse. Under the Liberals and the NDP, you destroyed the province. You bankrupted it. You created hallway health care. You didn't build any hospitals. We're building 50 new hospitals or additions.
Order.
We're building 413 and the Bradford bypass. We're putting $190 billion into infrastructure to make sure people have an opportunity to get from point A to point B, but most importantly, we've landed $28 billion in EV sector, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Over 700,000 people are working today that weren't working 5.5 years ago under your watch. You lost 300,000 jobs.
Thank you. Thank you.